Welcome to Woods Walk Gun Talk, number 29, I believe. Hope you're all having a beautiful weekend. We're enjoying this early fall day in Maine. We should see peak foliage coming up in a couple, maybe 3 weeks. But it has definitely started to change, as you can see. Not half as pretty as it's going to be in the future, but we'll go for a woods walk anyway. As I'm walking on an ocean of acorns. Look at this. Nature feeding the squirrels and the animals. So we're going to cut through into the woods from the road. So anyway, seriously hope everybody is having a beautiful day and weekend. It always takes my eyes a minute or so to adjust from going in bright sunlight into shade in the woods. It's about 65 degrees today. So we got a few things to talk about today with firearms, which is always fun. Yesterday at the range, I had the absolute privilege of shooting one of the greatest classics ever made by Americans, besides the 1911, and that would be the Winchester 1897 pump trench gun shotgun. 12 gauge, very powerful round, and was used quite a bit in World War I, especially in trench warfare. Hence the name it acquired. The Germans absolutely hated it. They considered it a weapon of warfare that should be banned because of its deadliness. As we're trudging through leaves, so you're going to hear leaves while I'm walking today. And they felt it was an unfair war advantage and cruel to use on your enemy, coming from the people that used mustard gas. It sounds kind of funny. And machine guns. They were using these machine guns, mowing down men in the thousands, gaining no ground, or virtually any ground, until the mobilization changed with tanks. So anyway, the United States introduced the Winchester 1897 into the theater of war to great success. It did what it was designed to do: be vicious, ruthless, and unkind to your enemy. So with that, I got to shoot it yesterday. It was really fantastic, or should I say funtastic. The one we shot yesterday, which there's a video on the channel, was made in 1918 and saw service in World War I towards the end of it, as well as World War II. And it did not have the original stock on it, because those were prone to breakage with the original ones, because they were thin in the handle where you grip them, similar to the old Winchesters, which had the same issue. So the Winchester lever action rifles, I should say. So for World War II, they beefed up the thickness of the stock where you grip it. And a very formidable weapon. Now I had to really do a learning curve, which I did not expect. Because, as you know, when you have a shotgun like this, you pump it and then you shoot. Well, with the trench gun, the first shot you take, you pump it, rack around, then you pull the trigger, bang. And then if you hold the trigger with your trigger hand, every time you bring this back and then launch it forward, every time you launch it forward, it fires. So you can fire as fast as you can do that. So you have to remember in World War I, especially, the soldiers, except for the people with machine guns, had revolver pistols, 6-shot or 5-shot, and you had machine guns, which machine gunners actually ran those, so that wasn't a very practical trench weapon to use because they were very heavy. And so let me flip this around and do my selfie. Hi everybody. This is Woods Walk Gun Talk number 29, best I can recall from memory. And so anyway, it is September 22nd. Today is officially the first day of fall. The last day of summer was this morning and ended at 8:44 a.m. this morning, according to my app. So with that, anyway, these trench shotguns were very deadly in combat, in trenches, obviously. They were very nasty, and they were hated. So if you research the history on those, you know, my older brother was telling me things like, if you were caught with one of those by the Germans, they would actually execute you because they were so upset about that. But as we go through on umbrella cam, I had an absolutely great time shooting one of those for the first time, and it does seem counterintuitive. It took a few times loading it and running through them to get the mechanics of it and the gist of how it works. So we are going to walk out here today in the fall. Beautiful day, and I'm starting to break out my Halloween attire. So I have quite a few of them actually. I've got zombies, I've got Frankenstein. So I think we'll go up this way. So we are at the Stanton Bird Club in Lewiston, Maine, and this is called Thorn Crag Bird Sanctuary, and we get a lot of nice views and vistas. We're going to hear a lot of acorns falling today, and this is a pretty good uphill slope. That's going to get my blood flowing as we go up here. And so this shotgun held 6 rounds, and it was designed at a time that they were using brass shell casings for shotguns. And not too long after that, because you know it was invented in 1897, not too long after that they started going to the paper cardboard cartridges for shotgun shells, which was a lot better unless they were exposed to moisture and swelled, which did not make very good on the battlefield because people were in battle in the rain, and and things like that, and it was difficult to keep your powder dry, as they say. So modern shotgun shells have plastic shell casings, and one particular Target brand, I believe they were Federals maybe, I don't remember, but they had the plastic shell casings, and would be using this pump trench gun, and you'd launch to go shoot, and the corn cob would get stuck because the shell expanded and got stuck in chamber. You really had to all your might to jerk on the corn cob and launch the shell out. So when that shotgun was designed, it was not designed for plastic shell casings. So keep that in mind if you ever get one. Some brands will run well and some won't. The second batch we ran, which was the better quality for bird hunting, extended range, a little more oomph, those all ran well, so from what I noticed. So we got somebody walking down this way. I don't like to talk about firearms when people are coming. They get nervous because they booga booga, fear-mongering media. So, hi. So with that, we had an absolutely great time shooting yesterday. We also had 223s and 357 Magnums, which, to be honest, did not really shoot much of those because we had such fun with the shotgun. And they are really fun. So, if you haven't already, I have the video uploaded. It's about 16 minutes. And that's a little hill I like because it gets my blood flowing. I'm starting to sweat already. And we got more of this to go. I got my first mile in already. Don't live very far from here. Anyway, I'm going to be waiting around and trying to see what they're going to sniff around, meaning the Democrats, with regard to any gun control for Maine that they want to pass. We survived a lot of the stuff they tried to pass earlier this year. They succeeded on a couple things, but largely, for the most part, they did not succeed on most of what they wanted to pass. You'd have to be familiar with Maine. The Democrats own firearms here, and traditionally, Democrats leave gun legislation alone because they know that. Problem they have is they have a lot of younger Democrats who are rabid Marxists. And yes, I know, okay, Marxist, by definition, it has to do with economics. So you're not saying that properly. I get it. Neo-Marxist, okay? Far left extremism, communism, socialists. Pick whatever one of those you want. They're all against freedom and liberty. So whatever makes you tutti frutti, just pick one of those, all right? So the younger generation has been indoctrinated pretty hardcore through schools, media, social media. For years now, social media has had censorship. Google has been censoring, Apple censoring, and so there's a lot of information people should have that they don't get, like firearms being a firearm problem, being a crime problem, and a mental health issue. So I keep seeing these people overseas, we don't have those problems here. And then in the same topic, somebody will post articles from, I just saw one yesterday, happened 3 days ago. This Muslim guy went bananas with a machete, killed one person, wounded 2 others. A group of 8 men had to subdue him with no weapons at all. And they did. Wouldn't that have been a lot easier if you could just lift your shirt and defend yourself? That's all I'm saying. Or at least allow citizens to carry their own machetes. You know? Whatever works for whatever culture you're in. These people are lunatics with no common sense. So anyway, these are the kind of things I discuss on the woods walks, gun talks. We walk a few miles through the woods on trails, and we talk about whatever. So I've been watching overseas a lot of things having to do with the trans movement and gender ideology stuff, especially with regards to Scotland and Ireland, who have gone absolutely bananas with that stuff. You have these guys that clearly look like men, they got full beards, they identify, self-ID as a female, and they get sent to a female prison. And then lo and behold, people seem to be shocked when these guys are raping women in the prison. And you know, this is all this corporate pushing of this, the what I've always called the .orgs. They're well funded by billionaires. Oh, we got some people that are going to be walking by, so I got to be quiet. I'll switch this around. I don't want the thought police to come beat me up. So I'll walk through here. Oh, I almost got pelted by an acorn. So we'll walk up through here. Got some kids up here being kids. How cool is that? They're not inside in front of their phones. Hi. So I don't like to talk about that stuff with other people around watching. So I'll flip this around now. But anyway, yes, this insane gender ideology stuff being pushed mainly by corporations. And the corporations that are owned by globalists who are pushing this globally on purpose to upset normal society's norms and means. And they're trying to start cultural revolutions in these countries, so eventually they will take these countries over politically, which they have been doing in Europe with great success. The United States is a little different. We got the Constitution, and Americans don't like to be told what to do. And when they are, there's usually blowback, which is what they're getting. Most of these companies have dropped their DEI programs due to customer complaints, boycotts. The latest would be Harley Davidson, John Deere, and as well as farming distribution chains. And people are tired of this stuff, and they're poisoning children's minds in schools, and people in this country have figured that out. And I don't anticipate that it's going to last much longer, because the Democrats are already getting blowback for it. And you have to remind yourself, is this so, really? Well, we're in an election year, right? Are there any candidates besides Donald Trump talking about transgenderism now? Nope, and Trump's talking about it because he wants to ban it from schools and ban men from playing women's sports. And so, as I've always said on here, if you really truly want your rights back as a parent, then vote for Trump. You will have that. He keeps his promises. If he says it, it'll happen. So, with that, Europe is a mess politically with everything. And what's funny is they look at the United States, and I've seen 3 videos this week of people in Europe talking about the United States, like, what the hell's going on with you guys? What's wrong with you guys? Have you guys gone crazy? You're totally behaving awful. And then you're listening to it and you're like, okay, where's the Trump is the devil going to come into this conversation? And it's the opposite. They see the Democrats in this country doing to America what happened in Europe, and they're hoping that doesn't happen here because they need us. That's God's honest truth. That's what these people were saying. They were saying that Trump needs to win this election so the world can be normal again. And people know what's going on. The problem is the 30 and under have been indoctrinated into this garbage, and it's going to be a tough fight. We're going to have a culture clash. And right here, you see somebody had a fire here, which is illegal here. You're not supposed to do that, especially now. And the reason why that's not good and stupid to do is Maine has had record low rainfall over this spring and summer. Everything is as dry as a tinderbox right now. It would be easy to start a fire here, which never usually happens in Maine, so these people probably haven't connected the dots on that. Because typically it's not an issue in Maine. You know, you could even throw a fuel accelerant and, you know, it'll burn, but it kind of like burns itself out because everything's so wet and green. But right now, that's not the case. This would all go up. So anyway, you're not going to see it from here, but I can barely see Mount Washington sticking up among the clouds way in the back. And this is a popular bench that people like to sit on. You can see Mount Washington in the wintertime. Crystal clear skies in New Hampshire from Maine. And so I'm going to flip this around, and I'm just going to record a short burst just walking. record that and share the vibe that's going on out here today on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in beautiful sunny Maine. So, other gun news. Oh boy, this is exciting. The new auto ordinance. You can look this up if you want to. The new auto ordinance Trump 1911 A1 in 45 ACP. It's the new Trump fight model. Okay? And this firearm has fight on it. It shows Trump with his fist in the air with blood coming down his face. That iconic shot. And it has metal engraved grips with things on there about the assassination attempt. And it says fight on the side. It's a stainless steel pistol with a kind of a black Cerakote finish on it. And it also has other things printed on it. And you can look that up online if you want to. And the reason why I bring that up is my younger brother ordered one. And all the places that had them sold out like right away. You know, and this is like, you know, somewhere between $1,400 and $1,800 pistol. The places all sold out like almost immediately. So they have them on back order, expected around October 10th or 11th. So from when they get them in stock, on or about the 10th or 11th of October, they will ship out. Then it has to come here, and then we got a 3-day waiting period to go get it because of communists. And but when we finally get it, I will do a tabletop review for the channel. Okay, we'll get a nice look at it, and haven't decided yet. I don't think my brother wants to shoot it. He just wants it as a historical collector piece, which I think is wise. Simply because it's stainless steel and it has a black Cerakote finish. And the way 1911s are designed, the slide's going to reciprocate when you fire. And it's going to wear some of the finish off. That's just what happens with 1911s, especially with a Cerakote finish on top of stainless steel. This is the kind of pistol that would look great untarnished and unused, mint. So he's mulling that over, you know. I have the Make America Great Again Trump 45 by Auto Ordnance. I bought mine on sale. The price that was on it new was $1,300. And actually I think it was $13.99 was the original price on it, and they marked it down to $11.99. So that's what I paid for it. And it is my best 1911 shooter. I shoot it a lot. It's stainless steel, but it doesn't have a Cerakote finish. It just has on the top of the rail, which has a couple of marks from using it. But I'm okay with that, you know, and it's an individual thing. You know, I mean, how many assassination attempts are you gonna actually witness in person while you're watching it? Even the second assassination attempt on Trump, we didn't really get to see it happen. We just saw reports of it. And so to watch it live on TV was a historic moment, and we got one of the most iconic photographs ever taken, which really kind of makes me laugh because, you know, you get that iconic photograph on Iwo Jima raising the flag, which, by the way, historically, if you watch, I think Clint Eastwood made a movie about it. The original, when that happened, they had a torn, tattered flag. The soldiers had ripped pants. They were all battle weary. They'd been through hell. Many people died taking that hill, and these soldiers just wanted to put the flag up to say, we did it. You know, we won this battle. And so they raised the flag. Well, nobody got that on film. And somebody just got the idea of reenacting it, so that's what they did. They had people in more newer looking uniforms with a nice fresh flag erecting the United States flag, and they turned around and used that as a recruiting tool. This monumentous historical photograph recruiting tool to recruit people to join the military and fight this fight having a draft and all that, but it was used as propaganda for the war effort, and it was a staged photograph. So the Trump photograph was real. That's the point I'm making. It happened there. A New York Times photographer, award-winning photographer, took those photos. And the reason why I say that's funny is they're not using it. They have one of the most historic photographs, like raising the flag on Iwo Jima, which was staged. The Victory in Europe Day, where that guy in Times Square, the sailor, takes that nurse, tips her over, and plants a kiss on her. Victory in Europe Day or whatever. I think that was VE Day. So you had all those iconic photographs, and oh, it's raining. It's raining acorns. The wind's blowing. It's coming down like rain in the woods. I gotta watch my noggin. But isn't it just ironic that the New York Times gets one of the most historic photographs ever taken with Trump with his fist in the air saying, you know, before he said fight, 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 just afterwards. You get the American flag blowing behind him. It's like the perfect photograph. Even the expressions of the faces of Secret Service. Everything is perfect. And they can't use it. They can't use it because it glorifies Trump, and these selfish sons of bitches just will not begrudge Trump any sense of humanity at all in an election year. That is how horrible the media has become. And you know damn well after this election, whether Trump wins or not, the New York Times is going to put out a book that has the photograph in it, and they're going to expect everybody to line up like a seal and buy it after what they did. But you know, it's like the assassination attempt never happened now with the media. Even the second one, well, we're going to spend all day talking about P. Diddy and his friggin' sex thing he was doing. So it's just what you have to deal with if you're a Trump supporter. And that just makes us more determined. It just makes us angry. It's, you know, they don't get it. They just don't get it. So anyway, hope you're enjoying the walk today. We're going to head on down here. I got a slight headache today, so I made sure I'm walking down this trail rather than up, because going up this trail is a lot of work. So I'll get less of a workout today, but I walk every day, so it's okay. It's okay to do that. So now we're going to head down here. Shadows are getting long now. As you can see, it's sunny out, but we're not getting much sun here. And coincidentally, this is the part in the wintertime with the most snow and ice on this trail, because the sun doesn't get to it during the day. But today is the first day of fall, or last day of summer, whichever way you want to look at it, which ended this morning for summer. It is now officially fall. Been seeing a lot of wild turkeys lately. I don't know if we're going to see any today. We do have somebody walking over this way. I don't think we're going to go see the whale rock today. We're just going to hang a left. We'll go up this way. We'll go on up this way. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So So we'll head on up this way. Like I said, we haven't had any rain, so there's no water running through here like usual. I kind of miss rock hopping through here, but we don't have any water running through here now, so I can just walk on the ground. It's been really dry. So anyway, I just really find that amusing that they have all of this stuff in that beautiful photograph taken, New York Times. I think his name was Ben something. You can look that up online. Just iconic Trump assassination photograph, and the guy's name will come up. Works for the New York Times. And I'm still running into people on the internet who honestly believe Trump staged that assassination attempt. I've heard CNN and other people saying, you know, people need to stop doing that because it really happened. So at least CNN has issued some kind of statement on that on air, talking about how people believe it was staged. And Bill Maher just did a piece on that on one of his segments. He was talking about this country being so divided that people just automatically believe things they're told because they hate the other side so much they want to believe it's true. And I don't know why this is new to Bill Maher. When Trump became president, I remember in 2017 people spreading rumors that Trump would watch the Gorilla Channel, and he would go around on all fours imitating a gorilla, grunting and everything. Now, that's completely ridiculous. A normal person like you and I would go, oh my God, really? Well, there were people that believed it. You know, and it seemed like the younger they were, the easier they were to be influenced. So that was very strange, but I do remember that. And we've had a lot of incidents like that. And all of these media reported half-truths have been debunked now. And, you know, David Muir of ABC during that debate didn't fact-check Kamala on all of those lies about bloodbath and find people on both sides. And now, because they actually did that, I think a lot of the truth did get out. And right now, it looks like Trump did not suffer very much damage from that debate. And in fact, he's leading. I'll get into that in a moment. I need to make a pit stop. All right. I made a pit stop here. We have it looks to be like some sort of man-made channel they made. I don't know why they would do that, and they have a log here. So that's either something to sit on, which I don't think so, or they buried somebody. Don't know what that's all about. I don't want to know either. I don't want to delve that far into the woods secrets. So anyway, you know, Bill Maher was talking about, you know, how people were believing that J.D. Vance was having sex with his furniture. Somebody had made a post on the internet saying that J.D. Vance screws his couch, okay? And that went viral. People were talking about it to the point where statements had actually had to be issued that said that that wasn't the case. And that is how easily influenced people are by their rabid hatred of their enemy. And they're divided this country so much. Now, I saw a liberal online post a photograph of a Harris sign that had been torn down and somebody spray painted Trump in its place. And they were talking about it as a hate crime, it's this and that, it's election interference. So of course you know what everybody did. There were all these pictures and videos of people stealing Trump signs, throwing coffee on Trump supporters with MAGA hats, trying to hit them with their car. All kinds of stuff. There was even a Trump supporter that was shot dead in Washington, D.C. because he was wearing a MAGA hat at a pro-Republican rally, and he just walked up to him in the street and pop, shot him right in the head, right there on camera. This was about 5 years ago. And they have the gall to be upset about a Harris sign getting torn down. Oh my God! These people are unbelievable. So, and I'm sure you know 1,000 examples on your own. You know, that's one of those things you bring up and somebody will say, oh yeah, I remember this one time, and everybody has a story they've seen or heard. So these people are just pathetically awful. And that's why they're losing. And they are losing. Newest polling that's come out, Trump is surging right now. So now Kamala wants another debate because she realizes she really didn't win the first one. She spent the whole time throwing rocks at Trump instead of talking about policy. And even things like her Oprah Winfrey interview she did. She doesn't talk about policy. She says things in repetitive loops, if you've noticed. You know, she was asked, what are you going to do about the price of cost of living, food? She comes out and just says, well, we all know the price of food has to come down. It's affordable, it's unaffordable right now. And people need to be able to afford food. And we know that it's difficult to get by every week, buy your kids' school supplies, and you know, when prices are high, those have to come down. Okay? How? What's your plan? Nothing. Zero. And if they think that independent voters are stupid enough to just go with, oh, okay, good answer, good answer. No, they're not. That's why they're independent voters. Now, the SEALs are going to vote for her anyway. Doesn't matter what answer she gives. Anybody but Trump. So, anyway, the other thing I saw online today is at this point in time in 2015-16, Trump had done 72 rallies up to this date. He's only done 26 this year so far. And this would be Frank Luntz. Frank Luntz, the guy that doesn't like Trump, the dunce that you see on CNN. So we see a beautiful day. And he's talking about that like Trump is old and can't do it anymore. Mr. Luntz, he is getting older, but he was president before. He actually has something on his resume that people liked. So he doesn't have to go campaigning in all these states he's going to win. He has to focus on the battleground states. And if you'll notice, Trump has been going to states where he's trying to get congressmen elected and senators, because when he gets elected, he's going to need Congress and a Senate to actually do the things he wants to do, because he's not a dictator. So they like to question things. All these other states that he has to win, why is he going to Montana? He's going to win Montana by 80-90% or whatever. Because somebody's running for the Senate there, and winning the Senate is important. And coincidentally, the guy he went there to support has now gone ahead in his race because he was a little bit behind. So Trump went there to reaffirm, hey, you got to elect this guy, because Trump is very popular in Montana. So that's the point of doing that. So you would think these political experts would be able to tell that that's why he's doing that. So he can focus on these battleground states, Michigan, and places like that. So he's about a point or two behind in Michigan, I believe. I'm gonna tighten this here. There we go. We're getting loose. So anyway, there's a lot of that stuff going on in politics. And Kamala Harris apparently has turned into a gun czar. She's turned into a gun expert, proclaiming that she owns a gun. She was on Oprah and she talked about, you know, somebody come in my house or whatever. She goes, I'm going to shoot him. And all of these SEALs attending that have been years screaming about banning guns, nobody needs those. They start clapping like seals, a couple of them. The rest of the room was looking at each other like, did she really just say that? Because, you know, they've been indoctrinated to believe that guns are evil. Why would she want one? And it turns out that she probably doesn't even own one, and she's just saying that to win over voters in Pennsylvania. Because a lot of Pennsylvania is independent or conservative and rural. She needs those votes. So she's pandering. Plain and simple. So, well, as we look at this, these leaves are not all turning yet. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. But it's not as pretty as it's going to be. Typically, the first week or two of October is the absolute peak best. And it started changing early. Today's the 22nd, so maybe another week from now, week and a half, we'll get some excellent footage, I hope. So I'd like to do a walk through here again after they're all changed, and I also want to do the rural walk on those roads out in the rural area where there's a lot of trees and woods. So anyway, you can see a lot of the grass has turned brown from lack of rain. That's what I was talking about. Kind of a tinderbox. So we'll flip this around like this. And we'll walk down here towards this apple tree. And for much of summer I avoided walking through here because both times I did, I ended up with a tick on me. They are not in season at the moment. And deer ticks are terrible. Anyway, we got a bunch of apples that fell off here for the animals to eat. Could smell them. You can't, but I can. That kind of sweet apple, sweet sour smell. These are kind of like crab apples. That's what we used to call them. I don't know why we called them that. Maybe they're actually called crab apples. I don't know. I'm no damn expert. But I do know that this political season, that's a thing we were just on. Let's get a shot way up. get some cool footage. Isn't this fun? So anyway, what you got to keep in mind, and this is really important, okay? This is going to be really bad, folks. Whether Trump wins or if Trump loses, this election coming up is going to be nothing for the next 4.5 years but madness and mayhem. And if Kamala wins, we're going to have this big cultural war in this country because she's even more radical than Joe Biden. And we're going to start seeing her be an authoritarian. She's going to be threatening schools that don't support this DEI stuff and transgenderism. All of the stuff that she's lying about now to get elected, she's going to revert right back to doing. And Biden ran as a moderate, thankfully. And the reason why I say that is he's been nothing but. And independent voters have seen that, and they're talking about it when they get polled. They're saying Kamala's doing a lot of what Joe Biden did, lying about being a moderate to get elected, and we can see it. So Trump is winning over independents. And you can't win without independence. The last poll I saw, Kamala still had more independent voters than Trump did. But Trump is doing well among how Republicans do with independents, if that makes sense. So hopefully more independents will realize that all Kamala has is the abortion issue, and that's it. And so I'm watching a clip with Tim Walz at a rally recently. And he was talking about, you know, this crazy stuff about, we can't do 4 more years of this. I'm like, what? 4 more years of, Kamala's an incumbent. She's a damn incumbent. You can't do 4 more years of the person that you're actually on the stage with. So they're really trying to pass her off as a non-incumbent candidate. And she's an incumbent. She's in the White House now. So there's no way you can say she's not an incumbent. It's ridiculous to say otherwise. So don't know what the hell they're going on about. But be careful going over these rocks. Yes. I don't want to trip on a rock and break my can. Not on film anyways. Even though this doesn't use film. This little wood crossing here. Something out here in the woods screeching. Just around. All right, pretty cool view. So what's going to happen if Trump wins? That's really the big question. A lot of things to talk about there. I may as well take the time now to discuss it. First of all, the left is going to send out their .org paid-for organizers who are going to organize protests, which are, of course, going to turn violent. They did when he won and was Inauguration Day in 2017 in Washington, D.C. They set a limousine on fire. They smashed windows on storefronts. We had riots in Washington State, Oregon, all of these leftist strongholds organized, and people were upset that Trump won. Well, I got a feeling if he wins this year, we're going to see that on steroids, to the point where if you don't own protection, you better get yourself some now. I don't know what's going to happen. So, all they've been preaching is democracy will be gone if Trump wins. He's a threat and will destroy our Constitution. It'll be gone forever. There'll be a bloodbath. There'll be this. All of this crazy, insane talk that the biased media has been letting these people get away with, unfortunately. Because that was the media's job. They're supposed to be free speech, free press, being fair, unbiased, balanced, reporting the good and bad of both sides, fairly and with equity. And we are not getting anything next to that. They're basically state-run TV for the communist state, the Democratic Party, and that's it. So when the rioting starts, they're going to be doing nothing to quell it. They're going to fuel it because they don't want DeSantis to win in 2028. So you're going to see a lot of talk while Trump is president of DeSantis is even worse. He's more of the same. And he's even worse because he's a better political speaker than Trump is. He'll be more deceptive. I can hear all of that now. I'm sure you can as well. So, for the distant future, I'm not going to count on things till they happen. But right now, it looks like Trump's going to win. He has all the advantage. You get the entire media establishment saying that Kamala's leading. Trump's not going to win. Blah, blah, blah. But common sense will tell you otherwise. And they're not going to be able to cheat like they did in 2020. There's a lot more safeguards in place, court cases that have been won. The Republicans are, I watched a story recently, very encouraging. In Virginia, the GOP in Virginia has already lawyered up, ready to contest the election and results, if there should be any, if it's close. And the reason why they're doing that is Virginia is now in play for Trump to win it. Because they got a Republican governor there who's been supporting Trump, and he's popular. And wouldn't that be ironic? Trump wins Virginia. Wouldn't that be insane? I think Kamala's only got like a 2 to 5 point lead in Virginia. While unlikely that Trump will overcome that, the possibility's there. So it's in play. Wouldn't that be wild? You know, Youngkin got elected mainly because of that trans controversy in high schools, where a non-binary was using the ladies' room and raped a student. And then they sent him off to another high school and he did it again. Instead of dealing with it, they tried to hide it. That one thing did more to elect Glenn Youngkin. And he was elected by the female voters in the suburbs that hate Trump. And he ran without talking about Trump. He just talked about the issues. So we'll see what happens. We got some people up here enjoying the leaves. We're going to be hanging a left up ahead. And she's got purple hair. I guarantee you she's a leftist liberal. I gotta be careful what I say. She'll attack me like a rabid dog. A rabid dog. I don't want to upset a purple haired girl. Hype, hype, hype. I'll go down through this way. And I want to hang a left where there's splits up here. It should be up here anyways. Hi. All right, I'll head down this way. Yep, so we got all this stuff going on right now with politics. There's going to be a lot of riots. You know, we had a lot of false media reports with rioting outside the White House before, where Trump allegedly ordered them to tear gas the people so he could go out there for his holding up the Bible picture op. Which, you know, that all turned out to be false. All of these things they said about Trump wanting to grab the steering wheel away from Secret Service to head back to the Capitol, that was all false. All made up stories by the media. And the media's reputation is so damaged at this point. I seriously doubt they will be taken seriously by millions of people ever again. At least not by me. So, we'll head up this way. A lot of people out here today. One day I came out here, it was hot and humid. Had a great walk. Wasn't a peep out here. Nobody was out here. Too hot. Can't stand the heat, stay in the kitchen, I guess. Alright, I'll make a left over here. We'll go see what's left of the frog pond. It must be evaporated a lot more by now. Haven't had any rain. The little froggies are in trouble. Alright, so we'll flip this back around now. I got a good sweat going today. It's cool, it's in the 60s, and it's not humid, but I'm still sweating. So, head down this way. So yes, obviously there's going to be a lot of rioting. And I don't know what kind of riots are going to break out or where. I don't know where you live. But you should be prepared for that. Should prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Or hope for nothing happening. A lot of people right now realistically feel that Trump is winning this election by 70%. a lot of people are feeling like that. I'm not so sure, because you know, you do have these densely populated rural urban areas like you know, even in Texas you got Houston, Dallas, all the big cities, and Maine here is no different with regard to most of the state being red. Now all these people in the country, if you're watching right now, you probably think, oh, Maine's this blue leftist liberal state. And no, it's not really. It's a lot like Wisconsin. Wisconsin might go to Trump this year. There's a lot of independents. A lot more independents in Maine than Republicans and Democrats. The problem is, to the point I'm making, is that these Democrats hold all the biggest cities. This is one of those areas. So, but this is also Androscoggin County, which belongs in ME2, which gave Trump an electoral college vote in the last 2 elections. He will again. New polling just came out suggesting Trump is leading Harris here in ME2, or CD2, Congressional District 2. Jared Golden, the Democrat, who looked untouchable, is now behind in the polls for Congress. Thought I'd give you an update on that. Austin Theriault is a former NASCAR driver from northern Maine. He is a Republican. He's in the state legislature, and business owner, and he's been endorsed by the Trump campaign. Now, it wasn't but 3-4 weeks ago, walking with me, I've told you that I really don't think Austin Theriault has a chance to beat Jared Golden, because Jared Golden's got this supply of Democrat money. The media is in his pocket, and he's played Blue Dog Democrat forever and a week. And raining acorns. You hear that? I'm trying not to get killed by acorns. I thought I was going to get pelted. Every time a strong wind goes by, all the acorns fall out of the tree like a rain. Now, acorn, you know, it's a, they can be tiny little things like this, but, you know, they bop you on the head. It doesn't hurt or anything. I was just expecting to get pelted. But anyway, back to the story. Jared Golden looks like he's in trouble. He was doing fine until, guess what? Until after the mass shooting. And he did a knee-jerk reaction saying we had to ban semi-automatic rifles in Maine. As soon as he did that, he signed his death warrant with regard to his campaign. He signed his campaign's death warrant. I don't want to get reported for violence, okay? No violence, not ever. It's just a use of wordage, okay? And he made his announcement on his gun policy after the mass shooting we had in 2023. In October, he made his announcement in December, after being the only Democrat in Washington, D.C. to vote against all gun legislation. The only one. He's now flip-flopped on that. And he's in CD2, okay? The one that Trump has won twice. You're not going to win this district being anti-gun. And he should have known that. Now, I don't know if he's going to win or not, but Austin Theriault is now 2 points ahead of him in polling. that is biased against them, so he may be leading by more than that. And that would be just desserts, wouldn't it? To get rid of Jared Golden, the blue dog Democrat, who won't be Pelosi's puppet, who, as the Maine Wire reported, 2 of George Soros's relatives donated to his campaign. George Soros's brother-in-law, and I think it's either a grandson and a sister-in-law or something like that. So shortly after that, the Maine Wire here reported that, when other media outlets would not. And the Maine Wire is an independent news outlet that people like Susan Collins actually reads, which I was surprised to find that out. So they were one of the people that validated what was going on with the illegal Chinese Communist Party marijuana grows in Maine here. So, you know, sometimes a lot of these good things happen, right? So anyway, Jared Golden may get ousted. I would love that very much. So we're going to go take a look at the frog pond. I'm going to flip this around. The frog pond looks very slimy and awful looking. It's filled with rainwater, basically. Runoff through the woods fills it up. And we have gotten nothing. So I'm going to grab a handful of acorns. We have on the surface here, now we have all of this sludge on here. And I think the frog population is a lot less, because there's been times we came through here and just standing right here, you'd see about 10 frogs along the side hop into the water, and now there's nothing. There's nothing doing anything. Oh, I see some bubbles there. So we'll throw these out. We get kind of like that mildewy kind of coating on here. It's all slimy. Probably low oxygen content right now. Now typically over here, the water level goes underneath that birdhouse out there. And you can't walk out to it. This is all flooded usually. Right to just about here. So the water level has dropped dramatically. So I'll continue on over here. This is where we saw those deer that day. Right in the woods over here. So we'll go up this way, back up to that fireplace that we had there. Go up this hill. Yeah. Go this way. All these woods out here. Some people coming down. Flip this around like this. There we go. Go up the hill. Whew. Hello. It's weird how everybody's afraid of everybody now. You could say they were being hesitant. Middle-aged white men, they have made us an enemy in this country. It's a shame. You can see it. You walk by young people And if you're a middle-aged white male like me, you can tell they're afraid of you. They've been indoctrinated. Sad to see. Oh, anyway. This is the fireplace up here, which I will stand in the middle here, and we'll do a circle. Let's see how this looks. All right, we'll do a circle like this. And we get the chimney up there. Pretty cool. So anyway, hope you're enjoying the conversations today. I'm going to go back the way we came in, partially. I might actually walk a little further down this time. So, I don't know what kind of winter we're going to have this year. I do know that nature usually makes up for it in Maine. We've had a beautiful summer, beautiful spring, hardly any rain at all. Last year was the opposite, and we were rewarded with a mild winter without much moisture. I got a feeling, well, that's not entirely true, because we did have a couple of storms and we had power losses for a few days each time. Did not enjoy that at all. And we have things that are going to be coming up. Don't know what we're going to get, but the Farmer's Almanac says it's going to be mild, milder than normal, with less snow. And we are going to have snowy parts. The snowiest is going to be the beginning of December, and they also said in February. So coldest part is going to be in January, towards the end of January, which kind of makes sense because January is our coldest month anyway, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't get any more bad storms that knock trees down out here. We had a lot of trees knocked down, and I got videos for those in my Woods Walk playlist. Go back to last winter, February walks, February, March. So my walking is going to depend on the weather, solely on that. So when this is all covered in snow, we'll see. I should get myself a pair of snowshoes. I could really use those. So anyway, those are not very good to listen to if you're recording like this. And I've seen other people's videos where they're wearing snowshoes. It's like the snow is all crunchy, and every step is like you're watching like an hour-and-a-half video of just that. That's all you hear is that friggin' noise. It's pretty bad. So I might do that once in a while, but I'm not going to do any city walking if there's snowbanks and ice on the ground and stuff and snow, just because it's not safe. And you know, could go avoiding to get hit by a car that didn't see me coming around a snowbank, and I slip on a piece of ice, pull a muscle, tear a ligament, something like that. And I definitely don't want to do that. So 2 years ago, I pretty much took all of the walking off from the second week of November until March 12th or 14th. I think I started walking again. So I took that full winter off, most of the winter. So we'll see what happens. And I don't like using a treadmill. Not something I like. Don't care for that. It's not the same, for one thing. You don't get the same workout, and you're looking at the same wall. Or you could listen to music, or put a movie on or something, but it's not the same. It's not the same workout. That's not to say you shouldn't do it if that's what you're doing, because some exercise is better than nothing. But you know, I get more walking out in the woods than I do on a treadmill or walking in a city. It's a lot more effort, always walking on uneven ground and climbing over rocks, and this isn't even really a tough trail to walk, but it gives me a good workout, and I feel good about that. Excuse me. So when we do get the Trump fight 1911, I will gladly show it to everybody. Do a nice close-up detailed. I want to get close-ups of everything, show all the detailing in it. Because what YouTube does, and you've seen this if you're a gun owner, is you want to see a video on this cool gun. And you go there, and you got some guy holding it, and you know, it's like you can't really see it. And he's saying, oh, this is cool, we're glad we have this, we're offering this price, and they're not really showing you the gun because it's a specialty item, and it's not common enough for all these people to be doing reviews on it, and so you don't get to see it, you know, you just don't get to see it. We're gonna head off this way just because I still want to get my extra mile. I like to get at least 4 in here to guarantee that I have at least 5 today total. Looks like they've been busy in here. I actually cut these up before. This is one of those trees I was telling you about that uprooted over here and fell across here, across the trail in a storm we had. Another uprooted one over here. So we had this really strong wind coming from the south, blowing this way, and all the trees fell this way on this part of the park. On the other side of the park, it's not as bad as this. So we had 70-mile-an-hour winds, and the ground was absolutely saturated with many inches of rain. I think we got 5 or 6 inches of rain in 2 days. So the ground had already been saturated. We got 3.5 miles in here. We'll do another half mile or more, and then skedaddle. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and we will have good review of that firearm when we finally do get it, after it's in stock. So it should be nice. This little wood thing. Well, I don't know how much else is left to talk about. I mean, basically what I was talking about with Trump, and if he wins, you've already had Democrats announce they're going to try to find a way to prevent him from being sworn in. So they're going to try to do the things they accuse Trump of doing, you know. not allowing democracy to happen, insurrection, sedition, all this stuff they accused him of, they're going to do it. That's always what they do, right? So they are going to, if they win the House, the Democrats, the first thing they're going to do after they're sworn in, and by the way, Trump will have been sworn in at that point, they're going to want to pass legislation saying that if you've been convicted of a crime, you can't be president. That's what they want to do. Jamie Raskin has already said he's going to do that. So he's one of the ranking members. So you can take that to the bank. They're going to try everything to do to block the Electoral College. They tried that in 2017 with Pelosi on the floor giving a speech. And they spent the whole time saying Trump was an illegitimate president elected because of election interference from Russia. Remember all that? Russia, Russia, Russia. Well, they're pushing the Russia nonsense again. So these people have not even begun to defile themselves, okay? This is going to be really bad. And don't forget, we still have the Trump sentencing, November 27th, Thanksgiving weekend. So it'll be the first day after Thanksgiving weekend. What are they going to do if he wins the election? Send him to jail? We'll have to watch. He can be sworn in from jail. They're not going to send him to a jail. I've explained that before too. It's a national security concern, especially if he's president-elect. No. My prediction is they'll just give him a fine, wait for him to have his appeal, which he's not going to have his appeal until after he's out of office. So this is going to delay everything they're trying to do to him. And so he needs to win. If he doesn't win, I think they're going to send him to jail because... So what I was saying, as the battery died, I had to put in a new one, is Trump is the new influence on the Republican Party, and you have the establishment rhinos who want Trump gone, and Trump is going to be the face of the party for some time to come, and he's going to have influence on the Republican Party even if he loses this election. So you're going to have a lot of Republicans that are going to want him locked up as well. So this is going to get really interesting. So if Trump wins, though, that's all different. Well, look at this weird, tree right here. All that tree around the core of the tree is rotted off, and you got just that little bit holding it, and there's no tree on the rest of it, and it's all been machine gunned by termites and woodpeckers. We usually have a lot of woodpeckers out here. I haven't been hearing them on this whole walk today. So what's going on with the woodies? Woody the woodpecker. So anyway, Trump is elected. He's going to be sworn in as president. Now, is he going to be sworn in from having an ankle bracelet on at Mar-a-Lago, which they'll have to take off after he's sworn in? What are they going to do? We've never seen this before, so we'll watch what happens together, I guess. We'll see. But regardless, it's the point being, it's going to be a very tumultuous time for this country coming up from here on out. I got a feeling this country is not going to be the same regardless, one way or the other. Kamala wins, we'll go worse than we are now, and we're gone as a country. Or if Trump wins, we got a chance to redeem ourselves with the rest of the world and make things right again. So we'll make America America again. How's that? So anyway, we'll walk on out of here towards the exit. I think this will do it for the walk in here today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and click like and subscribe, share the content. Walking out in the woods today, as you can see, was an absolutely beautiful day, and join me on my next walk. It should be fun. And I think we will go out this way. Cross this. Usually we have to cross this little wood bridge right here because there's water running there, but there's no water. So now we're just going to walk across it, and look, we got a bridge that serves no purpose right now because we haven't had rain. Isn't that terrible? Well, it's the first time I've ever been able to stand right here, walking through here. So anyways, folks, we're heading out of here now, and again, I hope you enjoyed the experience. I really do enjoy recording these and walking, and we'll be back out here again at some point. So I hope you enjoyed Woods Walk Gun Talk number 29. I believe I have that right. And we've already done 29 of these in the woods. I had a lot of plans for walking in other places in different kinds of woods. We've done a handful of those, but this is really convenient, not far from the house, and it gives me a good chance to get things that I've been thinking about off my mind. And so anyway, that being said, God bless you and your family, and God bless the country and the republic for which we stand. One nation under God and all that stuff. I hope things work out for us for the best in November. Got a good feeling about it. I really do. And I think a lot of these polling companies are seriously biased. Whether they're doing it on purpose or not, I don't know. But, you know, if you think about it, who are they calling for Republicans? You know, are they calling the Mitt Romney types who absolutely don't like Trump, but they're Republicans? I think a lot of those people they're polling are like that, and I also think a lot of the Democrats that would be voting for Trump aren't going to admit it. And I think we saw a lot of that with Hillary Clinton. I think a lot of people didn't like Hillary, kind of similar with Kamala. And they voted for Trump, but they came out and told the person taking exit poll, and they do exit polling, they talk to, so who did you vote for? And it was looking really bad for Trump in 2016, because usually the exit polling can tell you who's going to win the election in the long run, depending where they do that. But it was blatantly apparent that a lot of people said they voted for Hillary and they didn't. So there's still a lot of that. If you support Trump, you're a racist. Even just a couple of weeks ago, you know, standing outside with the Trump flag flying, car going by, you effing racist. You know, they're still doing that. So, you know, so a lot of people don't want to admit they're supporting Trump or they're going to vote for him. So I don't know if there's a way to poll for that. They have not been able to figure out how to poll for MAGA, or MAGA. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, make sure you vote. Drag people out to vote if you have to. Vote early. Vote by mail. Vote by sail. Fly, crawl, walk. Whatever you got to do, make sure you go and vote. It is so important. And our country is at stake. You know, if you've got children and you want to keep them away from this child indoctrination in schools, the stuff that just makes you look at the ceiling and go like, really? Take your kids back. Trump's going to get rid of all of that. He promised it and he keeps his promises. So, you know, do yourself a favor as a parent. Make your life easier. You can focus on your job, not worry about your kids all day. You know, if they're being indoctrinated by pedo Peter, the teacher in school. You know, it's like, anyway, that's all I got to say. Thank you for walking with me, and have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye-bye. See ya.